So we talked about the Obamas, the Clintons. Already addressed the keynote address earlier with the new winners of elections. So the C-list package of the primary. I personally really like that video. What I liked about the video is, it's your pep rally video, right? It's like rah rah, okay, we're all together. But the part I really liked about it is when each of them started talking about their personal interactions with Joe Biden. Yang talked about after the debate, Biden like shaking his hand and saying that what you're doing is a really big deal, as far as like talking about like the Asian community, and stuff. And there were other little anecdotes like that.
I agree with that because Booker's part was my favorite.
Yeah,
Actually, I really liked Booker's part and
after Booker had attacked him, right? And then like
and then he said, and if that's true, because obviously I don't see a video of it or anything like that. Some people can say that wasn't true or whatever.
No, I do remember Booker talking about that before.
After?
Yeah.
But the way he explained it, because he even was saying, he was like, I just ripped into him, and then he comes at me and he was like, what the like, oh wait, are you serious? And then it kind of gives an idea of that Biden is, maybe he believes in these things and he's fighting for these things, but he also knows the importance of other people coming in.
Bringing in ideas and stuff. And the one thing about Biden, right, and it's actually the thing that kind of pisses progressives off a lot. Biden has always been the buddy type of guy. He's obviously I don't know him personally, right? But like from all the anecdotes that we've heard over the years, we're talking 30 plus 40 years, right, of this guy. It's that he will have the biggest debates with you about issues that you don't agree on, and then next thing you guys will be cracking a beer together. And he just seems like a really friendly guy. And one of the biggest examples of that was when he was leaving the Senate in 2008 after Obama won the presidency. So now he has to become vice president. When they were all sending him off. And then in 2016, when he was leaving the vice presidency, so essentially leaving as the president of the Senate, and all of them from the guy from Georgia, not Purdue, I forget his name, but the guy from Georgia, the senator from Georgia, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, and then Harry Reid, a bunch of them all went up to speak. They all did like 3-minute sections each, talking about some story they had with Biden or some good thing Biden did for them and all that stuff. And it was one of those things that made you realize that at the end of the day, these people, they might be politicians, they might disagree on things, but they are just people at the end of the day. Oh, I froze. I think the recording happened, and if it didn't, then I just said all that for nothing. But I was saying that.
I was gonna say something about Biden, actually, to follow up on you on that. With what I'm assuming you talked about, his friendliness, look. There's a lot of people who want to talk about how he's creepy, and I won't fight that, because him sniffing little kids is really strange to me. But he actually reminds me a lot of an old assistant manager that I used to have, was kind of like that, which is just like, dude, you're a little too close, But the thing that I've always said, so in 2008, I don't know how much you paid attention to the primaries. Among the primaries, he was actually probably my third or fourth vote, like the third or fourth candidate that I would have gone for back then, because back in 2008, I was barely growing into my political ideas, right? I'm gonna say real quickly, number one. So if anybody knows who this is, my number one was Dennis Kucinich.
Kucinich, small guy.
I love Dennis Kucinich. I still think that he still should be around in regards to how he talks, because he's actually a great speaker too. Then it was Barack Obama. Then it was actually, I think it might have been was it Edwards? Edwards, right? Wasn't he?
John Edwards. John Edwards.
John Edwards, and then before he decided to cheat on his
wife with cancer.
Dying wife, yeah. And then it was Joe. And the thing I've always said about Joe Biden, especially as the years have gone by, the person he reminds you of is that one funny / creepy uncle. You know what I mean? Though, yeah, he's funny. He has a good heart. Sometimes he says some things or does some things that are a little bit off. Well, maybe some people might paint him a little racist, just, what I mean? Like, but he reminds you of that. So I'm never going to fight his whole, saying he's not I don't think Trump's a good person. Just from who he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't show me.
If it's strictly a vote of a decent person versus a not decent person, I don't think anyone can argue that Trump is a more decent person than Joe Biden. Anyone on either side of the aisle.
Because maybe Biden is a little bit, on some stuff he's morally ambiguous, where Donald Trump is just straight up immoral on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So anyway, so as far as that video package, yeah, I got that sense. I got the sense of he understands, and then you kind of get the idea, and I don't know if you kind of feel this, that the Democratic Party doesn't think he's going to make it through the full 8 years.
8 years. Oh, yeah. I honestly, I've always felt like he doesn't intend to do that either. I think maybe I'm putting too much, angelic properties on him, but I think he literally feels like it's his duty to get us out of this mess, and then he's like,
I will talk about how in my monologue that I'm eventually gonna have on. So we're gonna keep teasing it until I finally say my monologue of Bernie got robbed. I will mention about how I feel that Biden was particularly brought in for 2 reasons. One is to oppose Donald Trump, but my thing, I think the biggest thing is centrists and moderates needed somebody to stop Bernie.
Yeah, to coalesce.
Because at the end of the day, Bernie was after the pockets of all politicians' wallets, because majority of politicians, a lot of centrists, there's a lot of corporate Democrats, nobody can deny that, who their corporate wallets were not fans of Bernie saying, I'm going to come and tax them. So anyways, I'm not going to let you rebuttal that right now.
We're going to have a full thingy on that. Yes. Let's keep this to the convention.
I know. I just wanted to mention why one of the, to follow up with what you said about, that he felt it was his duty. And he actually mentioned that. Remember, he mentions that in his speech.
Okay, well, let's get into that then. So we've done the C-list package. So Bernie spoke. Tell me about your thoughts on that speech.
Bernie was being Bernie, man. Bernie was being passionate about everything, and he reiterated. So a lot of people try to point out that Bernie Sanders has already told progressives to vote for Biden. But if anybody has paid attention, Bernie Sanders even himself has said, I can't tell you who to vote for. And if I do, don't listen to me, because he basically is letting people know, I was like, my followers think for themselves. And it's not one of those, there is no party loyalty. There's loyalty to ideas, loyalty to policies and all that good stuff. But
I did feel like he was pretty unequivocal, though, on the speech on Monday.
He was basically explaining, look,
another 4 years.
Yeah, he was basically stating, I have, this is what I was running on, this is what I was running for, right? Voting for Donald Trump will get us nowhere near there. He's basically was giving the idea that a lot of people, there's quite a few progressives that are going to be voting for, and I know there's a lot of gatekeepers within the Progressive Party that don't think these people are progressives, but I still think they are, because the fact of the matter is, you have to think about you have to think about your own morality in regards to voting in 2020 of, do I want to vote for the status quo? Because some people feel that might be more dangerous. But there's also the fact of the matter is, you also have this guy as president who in 8 short years managed to do something that I never thought was possible. I did not think that I was going to see a worse president than George Bush #2 in my lifetime.
4 years.
8 years.
You're talking about Trump.
No, I'm saying, but like 8 years after. Like I didn't think.
Okay.
No, dude, Donald Trump was the worst. Like was beating George Bush and although that can be argued because some people might say that George Bush is still worse. I can actually find an argument for George Bush 2 being worse just because of where the economy went and the kind of stuff that he did, because he is the reason for Trump. I feel like he created the disease, and Donald Trump is one of the symptoms of it.
I think Trump might not be worse than Bush as far as like policy wise yet. I think he's on the trajectory to be worse than Bush, but I think as far as America's standing in the world, Trump is
definitely
worse.
Definitely, because the thing is, the truth of the matter is, George Bush had some of the highest ratings post 9/11.
Yeah, amongst world leaders too. Yeah,
and a lot of people didn't lose that idea of him. Yeah. After even when he made the country go straight to whatever after even then, and then I know and you could probably speak on this, but I heard he's extremely popular in Africa.
Yes, no, he George Bush did so much for combating the AIDS crisis in Africa, and he's still revered for it over there because in African
and the thing is though, Bush doesn't have the one thing that Trump believes in. Trump believes in nationalism. Mm-hmm. He believes in just worrying about America only and not realizing that we're also the world leaders. He cares more.
He's abdicated that position since. It's like
exactly. So it's just kind of like so around the world. Yeah, he's definitely not viewed. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who view the U.S. now kind of the way we view some third world countries or some other nations that might have that we question the voter suppression, and we question their the different stuff that they have to deal with. So mm-hmm. But as far as Bernie's speech was concerned, because I'm still going on Bernie's speech, right? I'm still talking about Bernie's speech. Yeah. So as far as Bernie's speech was concerned, to me it was the same. It was just the same Bernie as always, which to me is a great Bernie. A normal Bernie speech is always a great Bernie speech. Okay. He is actually, the thing with him, the orator with him, the difference between him and some other speakers is he's just in your face. Mm-hmm. But he's not trying to BS you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's not trying to throw BS at you. He's just telling you, look, this is the facts. This is what's going on. Mm-hmm. This is the worst president of our modern generation. This is the worst president that we have now, and it's dangerous. And then, I don't know if you got this. I didn't kind of get this, but I kind of sensed that he's been saying this, that he's just basically saying, this is just for this election. Mm. Vote this way for this election. After this election stuff, because I honestly think if Joe Biden becomes president, his biggest opponent in Congress will be the progressive wing, mm-hmm. basically pushing him towards. Because I think Bernie's trying to say, look, if he's president, we can be in his ass about pushing him towards progressive.
Which is the same argument I made to you in our first episode. Remember when I said that why would a progressive want to risk having a Republican president who they can't sway at all versus a Democrat president that maybe they can even sway him an inch? Like, I'll take the chance of being able to sway someone.
I think a lot of people look at the 2000 the fact that in 4 years that they think they're under the impression that Biden will run again another 4 years, and then after he runs, it's a quick after that in 2028. Kamala Harris will automatically be put in.
But that's not how it works. So you still have to go through a primary process.
No, I get it, but how often does a sitting president get as of late, since we've been watching
after 4 years?
Yeah.
I mean, no, like it hasn't happened in over 100 years.
I think the last one that had a seriously good chance of doing it was actually RFK.
You think he would have stayed for 4 years and then left?
No. I'm talking about. Remember, he was going against. Who's he going against? Johnson. He was primarying. No, he was primarying a sitting president.
No.
Sure.
Johnson didn't run in '68.
Who am I thinking of?
It was Humphrey. Hubert Humphrey.
Maybe I don't know if I was. Somebody told me that and I just ran with it. Hold on.
Yeah, Johnson ran in '64. He won a term. after serving out the rest of JFK's term, but he didn't run in '68.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so I don't want to stick too long on Bernie's part because we haven't even gotten to the RNC speeches yet. But I do want to say that my impression of Bernie's speech was much the same as yours, right? Like it was a Bernie speech, but then he made sure to say that, look, this president is dangerous. When in the Biden administration, we will make sure that we try to get our progressive values heard and our progressive policies heard. And that is the crux of politics and policy making, right? You make a case for your arguments, and then you try to get that thing passed. It might be a little bit of give and take, but at the end of the day, you get your thing passed and for the betterment of the country because you believe that your idea would do better for the country than this other person's idea. So anyway, I like the speech. I like the message behind it.